already passed night here, so I'm going to go ahead and do the. I am not going to waste time. I think go ahead and skip. Uh, Horizon Zero Dawn. I'll just stream it tomorrow. It takes me like a full day to catch. I've been just like super mega. I've been surprised that I'm able to test principles every day. If I can camera it is okay. I'm glad it's working for. Okay, we find ourselves in principle 12. Act as if. Even act as if it were impossible to fail. Charles F. Kettering, inventor with over 140 patents and honorary doctorates at 30 universities. One of the great strategies for success is to act as if you already are where you want to be. This means thinking like, talking like, dressing like, acting like, and feeling like the person who's already achieved your. Acting as if sends powerful commands to your subconscious mind to find creative ways to achieve goals. It programs the reticular activating system, RAS, in your brain to start noticing anything that will help you succeed. Strong messages to you first that this goal is something. Sorry guys, I'm falling asleep. Hard to do this. My work schedule. Today I'm feeling much more awake though, so I alert for the start acting as if. Quick aside, here we go. First time I noticed this phenomenon was at my local bank. There were several tellers working there. I noticed that one in particular always wore a suit and tie. Like the other two male tellers who just wore a shirt and tie, the young man looked like an executive. A year later, I noticed that he had been promoted to his own desk where he was taking vacations. Years later, he was a manager. Later, he became the branch manager. I asked him about this one day, that he always knew he would be manager. We studied how the manager dressed and started dressing that way. Studied how the manager treated people and started interacting with people the same. Started acting as if he were a branch manager long before he ever became one. Less kind of. To fly as fast as thought, be anywhere there is, you must first begin by knowing that you've already arrived. Richard Bach, author of Jonathan Livingston. Becoming an international consultant. In the late 70s, I met a seminar leader who had just returned from Australia. I decided that I, too, travel and speak around the globe. Myself what I would need to become an international consultant. Called the passport office and asked them to send me an application. I purchased a clock that showed all the international time zones. I had business cards printed with the words international consultant on them. Finally, I decided that Australia would be the first place I would like to go. So I went to a travel agency and got a huge travel poster featuring the Sydney Opera House, Ayers Rock, and a kangaroo crossing sign. Morning while I ate my breakfast, I looked at the poster on my refrigerator and imagined being in Australia. Less than a year later, I was invited to conduct seminars in Sydney, Brisbane. I started acting as if I were an international consultant. The universe responded by treating me like one. Powerful law of attraction at work. The law of attraction simply states that what you think about, you will bring about. Where you create the vibration, the mental and emotional states of already having something, the faster you attract it to you. This is an immutable law of the universe and critical, accelerating your rate of success. Acting as if in the PGA. Great example of the power of acting is the story of Fred Couples and Jim Nantz, who started out as two kids who loved golf and had very big dreams. Fred's goal was to someday win the Masters tournament, and Jim's was to someday work for CBS Sports as an announcer. Fred and Jim were suitemates in college at the University of Houston to play act the scene where the winner of the Masters is escorted into Butler cabin to receive his green jacket by the CBS announcer. Years later, the scene they had rehearsed Hall at the University of Houston. It out. Reality, whole world was watching. Fred Couples won the Masters and was taken by tournament officials into Butler cabin, where he was interviewed by none other than sports fans. After the camera stopped rolling, the two embraced each other with tears in their eyes. I always knew it was going to be the Masters that Fred won, and that Jim would be there to cover it for yes. Amazing power of acting is wavering. Millionaire cocktail party. By Breakthrough to Success seminars, we do a role-playing exercise called the Millionaire Cocktail Party. Everyone stands up and socializes with the other participants as if they were all at an actual cocktail party. However, they must act as if they had already achieved all their financial goals in life. They act as if they already had everything they want in their life. House, their vacation home, dream car, their dream career, as well as if they had achieved any personal, professional, or philanthropic goals that are important to them. Everyone suddenly becomes more animated, alive, enthusiastic, and outgoing. Who seemed shy a few minutes earlier reach out and assertively introduce themselves to others. Energy and volume level of the room soars. Excitedly tell each other about their achievements, invite each other to their vacation homes in Hawaii and the Bahamas, discuss their recent safaris in Africa and their philanthropic missions to third world countries. After about 5 minutes, I stopped the exercise and asked people to share how they were feeling. Report feeling excited, passionate, positive, supportive, generous, happy, self-confident. Look at the fact that their inner feelings, both emotional and psychological, were different, even though in reality their outer circumstances were still the same. Not actually become millionaires in the real world. Began to feel like millionaires simply by acting as if they were. Party that could life. 1986, I attended a party that deeply impacted the lives of all of us who attended. It was a come as you party on the Queen Tree in Long Beach, California. Those of us who attended were to envision where we would like to be 5 years in the future. We arrived, we were act as if it were really 1991 and our vision had already come true. We were to dress the part, talk the part, and bring any props that demonstrated that our dream had already come true. Books written, awards earned, large paychecks. We were to spend the evening bragging about our accomplishment, talking about how happy and fulfilled we were, and discussing what we were going to do next. We were to stay in character the entire night. We arrived, we were met by 20 college students who had been hired to play the part of adoring fans of paparazzi. Cameras flashed and fans screamed our names, asking for autographs. I went as a best-selling author with several reviews of my #1 New York Times bestseller to show. A man who came as a millionaire dressed as a beach bum. Vision of retirement, spent out real lottery tickets to everyone at the party. A woman brought a mock edition of Time magazine with her face on the cover for winning an international award for making advances. To retire and spend his life as a sculptor showed up in a leather sculptor's apron with a hammer and chisel and safety goggles and pictures of sculptures he had made. And who wanted to become a successful stock trader spent the entire evening answering his cell phone, talking animatedly and then commanding, buy 5,000 shares or sell 10,000 shares. They actually hired someone to call every 15 minutes during the party just to carry off. A woman who was just embarking on a writing career and had yet to sell a book arrived carrying mock-ups of 3 books she had written. Spirit of everyone supporting everyone else's dream, people told her that they had seen her on Oprah and on the Today Show. That woman was Susan Jeffers, who did go on from that transformational evening to publish 17 successful books, including the internationally acclaimed Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Same thing happened to me. I went on to write, compile, and edit more than 200 books, including 11 #1 New York Times bestsellers. That party, where we made our future persona for over 4 hours, flooded our subconscious with powerful images of having already achieved our aspirations. Vivid experiences, infused with the positive emotions generated by the events of the evening, strengthen the positive neural pathways in our brains that, in some cases, forged, in other cases, deepened our new self images of being super successful. And it worked. All those who attended the party have gone on to realize the dream they acted out that night and much, much more. Make the commitment to throw a come as you'll be party for your closest circle of friends, company, your business associates, your graduating class, or your mastermind group. Since this book was first published, many small companies and large corporations have built a as you'll be party into the house trainings, conferences, and sales meetings. Why not build it into yours? Give the creative energy, awareness, and support that it will. Use the invitation below. Come as you'll be in 2020. Join us for a celebration that will stretch your imagination and catapult. When, where, given by RSVP2. Thrive as who you will be 5 years from now. Dress in your very best. Only in the present tense the entire evening. We're already 2020, all your goals have been achieved, and all your dreams have already come true. Videotaped as you arrive, bringing props to show everyone what you will years between, such as best-selling books you've written, magazine covers you've been on, awards you won, and photographs of scrapbooks of your achievements. Throughout the evening, you will have the opportunity to applaud others in their achievements and a little bit like a letter. A few more pages to go. Sergio's story. Sergio Ceres Gersi, the professor of robotics at the Tecnológico Monterrey in Monterrey, Mexico. While attending my Breakthrough Success training, he attended his first Come As You'll Be party. Here's the story. First 2 days of the seminar, I set some goals that I wanted to achieve in my life. Be a guest speaker at the TED conference. Write a book on context-based learning, a new educational model I was developing. Take my wife to Greece. Own a house by the lake. Start a tech museum. To develop a national program that would help youngsters develop self-confidence and sense of purpose. All these appear to be distant dreams. I like the money, the time, and the experience. I even had to cancel my family's last scheduled vacation. Regardless, as I prepared for my Come As You'll Be party, I wanted to play the game full out. My wife helped me pick out some pictures for a mock photo album that would be my prop to show people my accomplishment. Pictures of the Greek islands, pictures of Rome, a picture of a house by the lake. Even photoshopped my picture on top of a TED conference stage. I was ready. I was a little nervous when I arrived, but I approached a group of people I knew. One of my new friends, dressed as an Olympic coach, shared that she was coaching a league of minors that got into the Olympics. Soon it was my turn. What have you been up to? They asked. Well, I began. I came back from giving a talk at a TED conference and I got my book, Context Based Learning, published. Oh, and I took my family on a vacation. We went to Greece and Rome. Thanked them for coming to stay with us at our lake house, which I described clearly. Main house with 2 adjacent houses full of bunk beds, one for girls and one for boys. The party went on for hours, and I shared my accomplishments of the last 5 years with nearly 100 people. Eventually, it was time to eat. Slowly, people began to leave the foyer and cross the line into a ballroom where dinner was waiting for us. I really did not want to go. I felt comfortable in the future, and I was afraid I would go back in time to the moment I crossed the line. But it was time to go. Across the line, I was confused. Real. What was my imagination? Sure anymore. A year and a half later, I was invited to speak at a TEDx conference in Chennai, India. So, My topic was context-based learning, learning through understanding. A couple of months later, I submitted a paper on context-based learning and learning through understanding at a conference in education and innovation and received the Best Paper Award. That is not all. A friend of mine from Greece invited me to start a nonprofit organization called Better Life Day in Mexico. On that screen on YouTube. First conference was in Athens in June. I needed to go to Athens to see what it was all about. With perfect timing, extra money came my way, so I invited my wife to go with me. Just as I was about to purchase the plane tickets, my wife suggested why not go via Rome and stop by Santorini, one of the Greek islands. Wow, everything that I talked about at the Come As You'll Be party was happening. 3 years have passed since then. National program to generate self-confidence and a sense of purpose in youngsters is also now a reality. I migrated into 33 campuses nationwide. I'm an international speaker and trainer. Seminar, we hold a Come As You'll Be party. Always happy to hear the seminar participants play out their dreams and become a witness to their dreams rolled into reality. Hilton has opened his own audio recording studio. Chris got a ranch. Dale started his catering business. Truly magical. A couple weeks ago, I picked up the photo album my wife had made for the very first Come As You'll Be party. I looked through it, one particular picture stood out. Picture my wife had composed of me. Stage in front of the TED logo. Side by side, it's the spitting image of an actual picture of someone TEDx in India. Acting as if in the classroom. Trisha Jacobson, health teacher in Conway, New Hampshire, decided to conduct an experimental 2-week success principles curriculum. That's the picture. We got a couple more. Group for 8th graders. The last day she planned a Come As You'll Be party similar to what she'd experienced at several of my trainings. Here's what happened. Called it a Come As You'll Be as an adult party and encouraged the kids to come all dressed up and ready to act out their ideal adult lives and greet their classmates as they hadn't seen each other since the 8th grade. Friday morning, as the party started, a group of kids gathered in the middle of the room, smiling, high-fiving, and hugging each other as if they hadn't seen each other in years, sharing their stories about their cool jobs, houses, cars, and families. Mariah, one of the popular girls, showed up in high heels and a sparkly outfit, plastic microphone, and announced that she was a popular singer-songwriter and had just come off a promotional tour for her new album. Spoke of her mansion house, her hot new husband, and her sports car. Jeff wore his school baseball jersey and told me he had just been drafted by the New York Yankees. He was still dating his middle school crush and saw marriage in the near future. He talked about his busy travel schedule, his record-breaking batting average, and the new car he was going to buy. He was a sportscaster at a local TV station, married with 3 kids, a dog, and a moderate life in New Hampshire. Justin bought the family farm and was enjoying a simple life with his family. Audrey, who was still Mariah's best friend, was now her personal assistant and traveled with her on tour to take care of all the details and keep her friend organized. Brian was an aeronautical design engineer who worked from his high-tech home office, complete with a wall-to-wall big screen, where he spent his spare time playing video games with friends. He designed an amazing piece of equipment and was on his way to catch a plane to Kennedy Space Station launch. Energy in the room was electric, except in the corner to my right where 2 kids were sitting by themselves. Matt wore a shirt and tie, sat quietly at his desk looking at his binder. Emily was dressed in a navy blue business suit, a couple sizes too big for her, reading her book in silence. Walked over to check in with Matt, explained that he was an accountant. House, a wife, 2 kids, and a dog, and a nice car. A couple of good friends, like being quiet, and he spent a lot of time working with numbers, which he really enjoyed. Emily was reluctant to share her story with me at first, but then told me that she had borrowed her mom's business suit. Told me that she had a hard time acting as a future. Knew she wanted to be an attorney just like her mom. She also told me she wanted to get better at meeting people because she got teased a lot at school, so shy. Matt, who was listening to my conversation with Emily, told us that he was also pretty shy and got teased a lot about being a geek. Moment of divine inspiration, I asked them if they would like me to introduce them to some people who needed their services. They looked perplexed, but got up and followed me over to where the crowd had gathered, and the others were still acting out their role. Walked over to where Mariah, the up-and-coming rock star, and Jeff, the baseball star, were standing. Mariah, it's so good to see you again, I said. Heard your album and it was awesome. Thinking that you could probably use a good accountant and a good lawyer now that you're so successful. My friend's mad at me. Accountant. Jeff immediately reached over, shook Matt's hand, and said, Dude, take a look at my new contract. About what it was like to be a lawyer. I get goosebumps as I watched what unfolded over the next several minutes. Jeff and Mariah, their classmates, their accounting and legal services. That was bell ringing. The students grabbed their binders. We're having such a fun party, and we're on their way to the next class. I was in shock, but that was nothing compared to what I saw on Monday. Walked down the hallway to class. I heard someone call my name. Down to see Mariah. Toward me, arm in arm with big smiles as if they'd already been forever. Walked into the classroom. Jeff and Matt were sitting near my desk making plans for Matt to help Jeff with his math homework after school. Although I'd experienced the power of the come as you'll be party several times before, I'd never anticipated the impact such an activity could have on young people. Literally half an hour, connections were made, perspectives changed, kindness was overcome, and an appreciation for each other's unique gifts and talents was discovered. Purpose come as you'll be parties to create an emotionally charged experience of what it will be like when you have made it. Achieve your dreams. You spend an evening living out the lifestyle you want and deserve. You lay down powerful blueprints in your subconscious mind that will later support you in pursuing opportunities, creating powerful solutions, attracting the right people, and taking the necessary actions to achieve your dreams and goals. Clear that one party like this is not enough by itself to change your entire future. You'll have to do other things to make it happen. However, it's one more piece in the overall system of powerful acting as if strategies that will support you in the creation of your entire future. You do and have everything you want, starting now. You can begin right now to act as if you already have achievement. Desire, that outer experience of acting as if it will create your experience. Millionaire mindset, as it were. It will take you to the actual manifestation of that experience. Once you choose what it is you do or have, all you have to do is start acting as already done or being, doing, or having it. How would you act as if you were already straight A student, top salesperson, high paid consultant, rich entrepreneur, world class athlete, best selling author, nationally acclaimed artist, sought after speaker, celebrated actor or musician? How do you think, talk, act, carry yourself, dress, treat other people, handle money, eat, live, travel, and so forth? Give a clear picture of that. Start being it now. Successful people exude self-confidence. Ask for what they want. Say what they don't want. Think anything is possible. Take risks and celebrate their successes. Save a portion of their income and share a portion with others. You do all those things now before you'll ever become rich and successful. Things don't cost money, just intention. As you start acting as if, you will start drawing to you the very people, things that will help you achieve life. Remember, the proper order of things is to start now and do the actions to go along with the person. Find that you easily life, health, wealth, healing relationships, and social impact. Next time will be Principle 13, take action. This time it was Principle 12, act as if. That was best. Heard again. Please remember to support the show, like, comment, share, subscribe, donation to the show, follow, please, if you're on TikTok, subscribe if you're on YouTube. Sleep tight, have a good night, and as always, signing out.